You know the feeling. It arrives in the quiet moments, usually when you are alone. The phone is silent, the notifications have stopped, and in that stillness, a familiar unease settles in your chest. It's not loneliness, exactly. It's something quieter. It's the sense that without a problem to solve or a person to help, you are not quite sure who you are. You scan your mind for someone who needs you, because when someone needs you, the fog clears. There is a direction, there is a purpose, and for a while, that feels like enough. You have spent years perfecting the art of being indispensable. In relationships, you are the listener, the fixer, the one who holds everything together. At work, you are the person who takes on the extra load, the one who anticipates problems before they arise. You've learned that if you are needed, you will not be left. If you are useful, you are safe. And so you give. You give until your energy is depleted, until your own needs feel like an inconvenience, until you look at the people in your life and realize you have no idea if they would stay if you suddenly stopped being helpful. This is the trap of being needed. It feels like love. It mimics the closeness of love, but it is built on a different foundation. Love, real love, is unconditional. It does not require you to perform. It does not demand that you earn your place. But being needed is transactional. It is a quiet exchange, your value for their dependence. And the moment you stop providing, the moment you have nothing left to give, you are terrified of what will remain. You tell yourself you are just a caring person. You tell yourself that you give because you have a big heart, and that is partly true. But beneath the giving, there is a fear. There is a voice that whispers that if you are not solving someone else's problems, you will be left alone with your own. And those problems, the ones you never ask for help with, feel too heavy to carry by yourself. So you keep moving, you keep giving, you keep making yourself necessary, because necessity feels like the only kind of love you can trust. Psychologists have studied this pattern. It is often linked to what is called an external locus of identity. Your sense of self does not come from within. It is generated externally, through feedback, through validation, through proof that you matter to someone else. And the quickest, most reliable way to get that proof is to be needed. When someone depends on you, you matter. Your existence has a function. But this is a fragile foundation, because it relies on the other person remaining in a state of need. And people, over time, heal. They grow, they become independent, and when they no longer need you, the ground disappears beneath your feet. There is also a neurological component. When you help someone, when you solve a problem or provide emotional support, your brain releases dopamine. It feels good. It feels like you are doing something right. But over time, the brain begins to associate this reward with the act of being needed. It starts to crave the dependency of others the way it might crave sugar or nicotine. You become addicted to the role of the savior, the caretaker, the one who holds everything up. And like any addiction, it requires more and more to sustain itself. You need bigger problems to solve, more intense crises to manage, people who are more and more dependent. Because the moment someone becomes stable and happy, the dopamine stops flowing, and you are left feeling empty, wondering why their happiness does not feel like enough. This is the part you do not see when you are inside it. You do not realize that you are not loving people. You are managing them. You are not connecting. You are caretaking. And there is a difference. Love allows the other person to be whole without you. Caretaking requires them to be incomplete. Love celebrates their independence. Caretaking fears it. So, quietly, unconsciously, you may find yourself drawn to people who are struggling. You may feel most alive when someone is in crisis. You may feel restless and disconnected when things are calm. This is not because you are a bad person. It is because your brain has learned that your value is tied to your utility, and utility only exists where there is a problem. There is a metaphor that helps here. Imagine you are standing on a platform, and the platform is your sense of self-worth. For most people, that platform is built on ground. It is stable. It does not move. But for you, the platform is held up by other people. You are standing on their backs, and as long as they stay beneath you, you feel safe. But the moment they stand up, the moment they no longer need to hold you, you fall. You cannot stand on your own because you never built your own ground. You built your entire identity on being needed, and now you are terrified of people standing up.
This is why the pattern repeats. This is why you find yourself in relationships where you give more than you receive. This is why you attract people who take, and then you resent them for taking, but you cannot stop giving. Because giving is how you know you exist. Taking would require you to be vulnerable. Taking would require you to admit that you have needs too, and that feels impossible. Because somewhere along the way, you learned that your needs are a burden, that asking for help makes you weak, that love is something you earn, not something you receive freely. The way out of this is not to stop caring about people. That is not the goal. The goal is to separate your care from your identity, to learn that you can help someone without needing them to need you, to give without requiring that your giving defines you. This is a psychological shift, and it happens in stages. It is not something you decide once and then it is done. It is something you practice daily until your brain rewires itself. The first step is to notice where you derive your sense of value. Pay attention to the moments when you feel most worthwhile. Ask yourself, is this feeling coming from inside me, or is it coming from someone else's reaction? If you feel valuable only when someone is thanking you, only when someone is relying on you, only when you are in the middle of fixing something, then your value is external, and external value is unstable. The goal is to cultivate moments of internal value, moments where you feel worthwhile simply because you exist. This might feel foreign at first. It might feel like nothing. But if you keep asking the question, if you keep looking for those internal moments, your brain will begin to find them. The second step is to practice receiving. This is often the hardest part for people who are addicted to being needed. Receiving feels vulnerable. It feels like losing control. It feels like admitting that you are not the strong one, the capable one, the one who has it all together. But receiving is how you teach your brain that you are allowed to have needs. Start small. Let someone do something for you even if you could do it yourself. Let someone hold the door, make you a cup of tea, listen to you without you having to earn it. Notice how uncomfortable it feels. Notice the urge to immediately give back. Resist that urge. Just stay in the discomfort of receiving. Your brain needs to learn that you are safe even when you are not the one providing. The third step is to differentiate between love and caretaking. Ask yourself in your closest relationships, am I loving this person or am I managing them? Love is present. Caretaking is anxious. Love is calm. Caretaking is exhausted. Love allows the other person to make their own mistakes. Caretaking rushes in to prevent them. Love trusts that the relationship can survive without constant effort. Caretaking believes that if you stop trying, it will all fall apart. When you notice yourself slipping into caretaking, pause. Ask yourself, what would happen if I did nothing? The answer is often less catastrophic than you imagine. The fourth step is to build a life that does not require a crisis. If your brain is addicted to the intensity of being needed, calm will feel like boredom. You will feel restless. You will feel like something is missing. This is normal. This is withdrawal. The goal is not to fill that emptiness with another problem to solve. The goal is to sit in it, to let yourself feel bored, calm, peaceful, without reaching for someone else's chaos. Over time, your brain will learn that peace is not a threat. It will learn that you can exist without being in motion, without being necessary, without holding someone else up. The fifth step is to ask for help. This is the ultimate test. If you have built your identity around being needed, asking for help feels like dismantling that identity. It feels like admitting you are not the strong one. But asking for help is how you let other people love you. It is how you let them in. When you ask for help, you are not becoming weak. You are becoming real. You are allowing someone to see you, not just your utility. And that is the foundation of actual love. Not the love that depends on what you do, but the love that simply sees who you are. There is a simple mental model that can hold all of this. Imagine two containers. One is labeled need. The other is labeled love. For a long time, you have been filling the need container. You pour yourself into it and it feels full, but it always empties. Because need is bottomless. There is always another problem, another person, another crisis.
The love container, though, is different. It does not require you to pour yourself out. It requires you to be filled. It requires you to receive. And it is the only container that actually holds. You are not broken for having learned this pattern. You learned it because it kept you safe. It kept you connected. It gave you a way to matter in a world that often made you feel invisible. But you are at a point now where you can see the difference. You can see that being needed is not the same as being loved, and you can begin to choose differently. Not by becoming cold or distant, not by pushing people away, but by learning that your value was never in what you provided. It was always in you. Even in the quiet moments, even when the phone is silent, even when no one needs you at all.